Do-do-do. Do-do-do-do.
No more Mortal Kombat. We're doing the Street Fighter anime movie.
I told you we're not doing anime!
Fine then, we'll do one of the live action versions.
Alright, fine. Street Fighter, The Legend of Chun-Li it is.
Hey, wait a minute! I guess I'll just, Okay.
Today?
Okay.
Jeez, while we're young.
Oh my God.
Hi, this is the Out of Touch podcast. He doesn't want to talk for some reason.
Welcome back to the Out of Touch podcast.
I already introduced it.
Oh my God. You're in a mood today.
I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know why either. I'm Chris, that's Bill, and we watched the Street Fighter movie from 1994 starring Jean-Claude Van Damme. Bill, how do you like the Street Fighter movie from 1994?
I mean, I don't, but I also don't hate it.
I don't hate it either. In fact, it's kind of weird, and upon watching this again, I was like, yeah, the Mortal Kombat movie is still, like, way better. It's still, Mortal Kombat movie is the best video game movie, and this is kind of very inconsistent in a lot of ways, especially if you know some of the game lore.
I mean, I don't know anything, so.
Yeah,
I know there's a guy named Ryu and a girl named Chun-Li.
Yeah, Ryu and Ken are kind of like the comic relief, and that's even stretching their part because they're illegal weapons smugglers. I don't know. I guess short version of the plot. M. Bison, who is the final boss in Street Fighter 2, wants to take over the world because evil. And Guile and a bunch of, I guess, AN peacekeepers.
Not the UN.
Yes.
It's the AN. It's legally distinct.
Are trying to stop him because he took some hostages and is demanding a ransom of $20 billion. Also, Bison is gonna make a utopia of a city called Bisopolis, and he has currency called Bison Bucks, and they gotta stop him. Yeah, this movie's kind of weird. It's kind of boring, honestly. It's a little boring.
In parts. It's only at its most entertaining when Bison's just talking because he is just going for it.
Yeah. He's so cartoonishly evil and, like, ridiculous. Like, and, you know, the movie, when it first starts with Bison, and, like, he has, like, these soldiers that are, like, prisoners, and he's like, you came here to fight me, so now you fight me, and he's just, like, beating them up, and I'm like, okay, this might be cool, but then it turns into, like, a weird, I guess the best way to describe it is, it's sort of like a G.I. Joe type movie.
I guess.
I don't know too much about G.I. Joe, but it mainly focuses on Guile, who's played by Jean-Claude Van Damme, an all-American hero.
Played by a Belgian actor.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
It's weird that Jean-Claude Van Damme wanted to be Guile.
Maybe it's just so much as the studio was like, we need somebody famous for the lead role. And they got him somehow.
Yeah, I don't know. There's so many weird things about this movie.
Oh, you kid, right? This movie is weird? This movie is weird.
It's super weird.
The Street Fighter movie with zero street fighting is weird. There's a street scuffle at best. Everything else is machine guns and, I don't know, corridors.
Yeah. When you were a kid, did you know this movie existed?
I think I did. Vaguely.
I had no idea this movie existed until I was, like, well into high school.
But I was a Mortal Kombat kid. I wasn't a Street Fighter kid, so I don't think I ever bothered with it. Plus, you generally would hear video game movies, especially ones in the 90s, are pretty terrible.
Yeah.
God forbid we ever watch Double Dragon.
Oh, boy. I've never seen that movie, actually, but
Me neither.
I've
I hear
heard
it's
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has even less to do with Double Dragon than this had to do with Street Fighter.
I was a big fan of Street Fighter when I was a kid. Like, I loved it. And this movie kind of, and granted, it was in 1994. I don't know exactly the state of, like, the material for Street Fighter, because, you know, there's tons of comics now. There's been, like, a couple of animes and stuff.
Wasn't there just Street Fighter 1 and 2?
I think so.
And maybe, or should I say Street Fighter 1, and then Street Fighter 2, and then Street Fighter 2 again, and then Street Fighter 2 a third time, and then Street Fighter 2 a fourth time?
I think it was Street Fighter 2, then Super Street Fighter 2, then Super Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition, and then Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
Okay, I have to ask this. Since you got this giant-ass book, maybe you could fucking answer this for me.
Yeah.
Why the fuck did it take them that long to make Street Fighter 3? I don't understand. Why they just keep making Street Fighter 2? Why wasn't one of those games Street Fighter 3?
I don't know. Because, when they eventually made Street Fighter 3, it wasn't really well received when it first came out.
Well, maybe if one of those other games that you just mentioned was just called Street Fighter 3, they could have avoided that problem.
I think the thing was, Street Fighter 2 was so popular in the arcades
So?
that they just were afraid of, stopping a good thing, so they just kept tweaking it to make it, better. In fact, one of the things with Street Fighter Turbo was apparently you could, do something with, the dip switches on the board on the arcade to make it play faster. Yeah. And then Capcom's like, well, we should just make an official version of that then.
It's almost like how Rockstar's afraid to make anything but re-releases of Grand Theft Auto 5 at this point.
Yeah. Or how Nintendo only makes Mario Kart 8 now.
Which is a shame, because they have a pretty good track record with those Mario Kart games.
Yeah, exactly. It's not unheard of.
I just don't understand, because back in the day, it was like Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat 3, Mortal Kombat 4. But then it was just like, it's Street Fighter 2. Okay, when's the next one come out? I don't know. When you're just a kid, you don't know that Super Street Fighter is slightly different than regular Street Fighter 2, or that Street Fighter 2 Turbo is a different Street Fighter 2.
No.
They just seem like the same game when you're freaking 8.
They have different characters in it.
How would I know?
Well, I knew.
Oh, yeah, you knew.
I played them, so, you just didn't play them, so...
I guess, but maybe if I did, I would have just been confused. Imagine trying to ask for one of those games from your parents for, Christmas or your birthday. It's like, I want Street Fighter 2 Turbo. You have Street Fighter 2. It's like, no, I have Street Fighter 2, Super Street Fighter 2. I want Street Fighter 2 Turbo. And they'd be like, that sounds like the same game to me. Because I'm a parent and I'm confused by these things.
It is the same game. And granted, I guess when we were kids, it was a lot worse because instead of them releasing DLC for a game, you just have to buy a brand new game. So essentially, Street Fighter 2 had DLC, but you just had to buy the game again to get 2 extra characters.
Not worth it.
Yeah. So are things really worse now, or are they technically better?
I don't know, because it's a tough call.
I would say when it comes to fighting games, Street Fighter V came out. Then they did all the seasons. It's on the 5th season now. They've updated the game a lot. I mean, there's weird cosmetic crap, but whatever. I would say it's slightly better than the way it used to be released. I mean, let's not forget, Street Fighter wasn't the only one that did this. One of my favorite video game fighting franchises is Guilty Gear. And there's Guilty Gear X2, and then there's Guilty Gear X2 Reloaded, and then there's Guilty Gear X2 Core, and then there's Guilty Gear X2 something else. I don't know, maybe it's just a Japanese thing.
I don't know.
Anyway, we should probably talk more about Street Fighter, the motion picture, but it's a weird, boring movie.
It's got a few notable elements, I guess. You got Raul Julia in one of his last performances. I think it is his last performance.
Yeah, I think so.
And he's just took the role for his kids. Hopefully got paid well, and then just chewed all the scenery.
Yeah.
And carried the movie on his shoulder.
He really is the best part of the movie.
He's just so over the top.
Yeah, and
he's got some great ridiculous lines. Probably the most popular is, for me, it was Tuesday.
Yeah.
That he says to Chun-Li. Yeah.
For you, the day bison graced your village was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday.
Yeah.
Such a great, douchebag villain line.
Yeah. It's interesting, too, because, this movie, definitely had some, budget, I guess. So it's got, some interesting sets. I mean, especially, bisons.
Well, they got a boat. They built some boats.
Yeah.
They had extras.
There's Bison's, room where he has like the painting of himself, and then he's like getting changed while trying to seduce Chun-Li, and he's got like his like hat tree or whatever.
He's got his like lounging hat.
Yeah.
It's just a general hat made of like felt.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
So ridiculous.
Like this movie is self-aware to a degree.
Yeah.
Because I would say it's not just him that's funny and entertaining. Like that Zangief guy is pretty funny.
Yeah.
The dumbest character in the movie.
Yeah, but he's every once in a while it's like the great lines where like there's the truck with the bombs, and he sees it on the monitor and he says, "Quick, change the channel." Like that would like help.
Or that one towards the end, it's like, "You get paid?"
Yeah.
Like he doesn't realize that he's been working for a bad guy this entire time.
Yeah.
And then just turns good, and then they just kind of let him.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you're good now, so it's fine. It's very weird because one of the things that like always annoyed me about this movie, and I think it even annoyed me a little bit more, is the fact that like Ryu and Ken are just like side characters that are.
Feels like everyone's a side character in this movie.
Everybody is a side character except for Bison and Guile, and even Guile feels like a side character.
A little bit.
Yeah.
He's not in as much of the movie as I thought he was, because I've only seen this movie one other time in its entirety, and that was like a while ago.
Yeah, just the fact that Ryu and Ken are like gun smugglers or something at the beginning of the movie. They're like con men. I'm like, what?
What else would they be?
Ryu's supposed to be a karate hobo, and Ken's supposed to be his friend. They're professional fighters.
Well, that's not very Hollywood now, is it?
It isn't, but I just love Ryu being a karate hobo. You see him, he's just wearing his gi all the time. He's just walking on the side of the road wearing no shoes, just looking for the next fight.
You're going to tell me that Chun-Li is not a news reporter?
She's not. She's supposed to be like a police officer.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I don't believe you. Was that established in Street Fighter 2? Whichever one came before the movie.
To be fair, I don't really know off the top of my head, so maybe not, but I'm pretty sure.
So maybe it was fair game.
Maybe it was. Maybe she's just like another fighter that just had like, and the girl.
Probably.
Because I think like in Street Fighter 2, I think Cammy and Chun-Li are the only girls in the entire fighting game.
Wasn't there only like 8 characters in the initial Street Fighter 2?
Yeah, and Cammy's not even in the original Street Fighter 2. I don't think she comes in until Super.
You would know.
Yeah.
You got the book. You can look it up.
Yeah, I don't know, too. Like, one of the things also is, like, you have Sagat in it, and...
Is that the guy with the eye patch?
Yeah, and
Okay.
Sagat is supposed to be a big deal because that's who's the last boss of Street Fighter 1. And in fact...
Okay, first of all, nobody remembers Street Fighter 1.
Exactly.
It may as well not exist.
Yeah. It's become more important, like, in, like, Ryu's backstory now. So I don't think this existed yet, but Sagat has, like, a big scar on his chest, and it's when Ryu defeated him in the Street Fighter 1 tournament.
What tournament? There was no tournament in this movie.
Yeah, that's another thing. There's no tournament in this movie.
There's no street fighting.
There's literally not one street fight in the Street Fighter movie.
Like, why is this even called Street Fighter?
Yeah.
It should be called, I don't know, Guile.
Kyle. AN Adventures. Featuring M. Bison.
No, wait. Guile and the AN Commandos. Boom.
There we go.
There's the movie title.
It is really funny that they just refer to Bison as M. Bison. And that has stuck forever now. Like, Bison is just M. Bison. But do you know, like, Bison, Vega, and Balrog all have their names, like, switched around because of, like, a translation error?
It wasn't the boxer guy supposed to be Bison because it was like a Mike Tyson reference?
Yeah, M. Bison.
Yeah.
And then I think Bison was supposed to be Vega, and then I guess Vega was supposed to be Balrog. So weird.
I know about the M. Bison Balrog thing. I
Yeah.
didn't know that Vega guy was involved.
Yeah. I think Bison in the Japanese version is named Vega.
I think it works better.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just we're so used to it now. It's just like, yeah, he's M. Bison. What's the M stand for? You shut up.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I just thought it was like Major Bison for some reason.
I don't think I ever thought much about it.
He's a military guy.
Just seems like a villain name.
Yeah.
Balrog feels like it could be a boxer name.
Yeah.
I think it works.
Yeah.
It's a happy accident.
It's weird too, because Balrog's usually portrayed as more of like a bad guy working with Bison. But I don't know if that's like a new thing.
Wait, you telling me he's not a camera operator for Chun-Li, the news reporter?
No, and neither is E Honda. The fact like E Honda is one of those like, oh yeah, I forgot about E Honda. I don't know what else to really.
I mean, I'll say this.
Spotlight in this movie.
I'll spotlight this. It's the best Street Fighter movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, no, it's not, because the anime movie is like way better than this.
I've never seen that.
Well, maybe you'll see it someday.
No, because I don't watch anime. I've seen this movie, and I've seen Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li.
I've never seen it, but I've heard things.
Yeah. You know how this Bison is over the top and memorable and interesting?
Yeah.
They had a guy in a suit.
Bison is in that movie?
Yes, he is.
I don't know why I was under
Do you remember Damien Dark from Arrow?
Oh, no.
It's him. He's Bison. I think he's an Irish arms dealer. And he just wears a suit. Just a regular plain suit.
I had no idea Bison was in that movie.
Yeah.
I just thought it was like, oh, it's a movie about Chun-Li. I guess she's fighting Gen for some reason.
No, Gen's like her mentor. And it's played by Liu Kang from the original Mortal Kombat movies.
Huh.
And there's a few other Street Fighters in it. I think Michael Clark Duncan is in there as Balrog.
Okay.
That Vega guy is in there too.
Yeah.
With his mask and his claws. They mention Ryu.
Okay.
Because they talk about a tournament coming up. Let's go there. Maybe we can meet this Ryu guy.
That sounds like a better movie.
Yeah, this was right creeping up towards that point when we were getting these weird movies that kept teasing us with, oh no, you should have made that the movie.
Yeah, that's a trend, isn't it?
Yeah.
Movies that talk about a better movie that never happens.
Yep, or tease a better movie that should have happened.
Yeah, just make the better movie.
If you're writing a movie and a character describes something and it's a better movie than the movie you're making the wrong movie!
Yeah. So weird. This movie is so, like, I don't know how to describe it. There's a lot of weird speedboat action in it. One of the big set pieces is Guile's driving a special stealth speedboat to get past Bison's defenses.
It's probably a toy.
Maybe?
This was right at that time when they finally realized, oh, toys!
Yeah, I don't know if this movie was made before or after the Mortal Kombat movie.
They were very close.
Yeah, because they made a Street Fighter game based off the movie with like the Mortal Kombat graphics.
That is weird.
Yeah, like I think they must have like maybe they scanned the people in the movie like they did for Mortal Kombat or something.
They must have.
Yeah, it's on like PlayStation 1 and Sega Saturn.
Weird.
It's a game I've tried to get, but have never really been able to find it for a price that I was willing to pay for it.
What, you don't want to pay $70 for Street Fighter the movie, the game?
I seriously doubt, like, that was the price I saw it for when I was looking for it, but, like, probably now, yeah, absolutely, because retro game prices are ridiculous.
What, you don't want to pay $100 for the PlayStation version?
Oh my god.
$135? Hey, tell you what, you got a Sega Saturn? $35. Well, that's just the current bid.
Yeah, no, I don't have a Sega Saturn.
Why not?
Because it is very out of my price range.
Why? It's like the worst Sega game.
It's the worst. The Sega Saturn is the worst Sega game. Yes, it is. Well, I don't know. What are we talking about?
What, you telling me this review of a mid-90s clunker action family movie kind of went off the rails?
Yeah.
The heck you say?
I guess it is sort of a family movie.
Oh yeah, it was fucking based on a video game. This wasn't aimed at adults.
Yeah.
This was a movie made for children.
It's weird because they took out like a lot of the fantasy elements of it though. Like Ryu.
That would cost money.
It looks like they spent money on this.
They probably only spent a little bit.
There's a lot of extras and sets and stuff.
First of all, extras get paid shit.
Okay.
And get treated like shit. That's an ongoing problem. But also, they had like 2 sets, and they just kept using them.
I guess you're right. It was like
They
a
had,
weird like military command place slash
yeah, that was
like,
a very
village.
that was a very detailed set.
And then Bison's lair.
Yeah, that was just like a big room with TVs in it.
Yeah, I guess maybe they didn't spend that much on the movie, huh? But Jean-Claude Van Damme
They spent
probably
money on
most of the budget.
Probably.
I don't know. The whole time I'm watching this movie, I'm like, this could have been a better movie if like they made Jean-Claude Van Damme Ken instead of Guile, and just had like the movie about like Ryu and Ken like going to the tournament. I don't know if any of the like Hado stuff was introduced by this point, with like Ryu like being like, oh, I can't let the dark Hado corrupt me, because that's like a thing in the games now.
I'm just going to assume that no, that didn't exist.
Ryu sort of does the Hadoken.
He does this, and it's like a flash of light.
Guile does not do one sonic boom.
To be fair, this and a flash of light is better than the airbending Hadoken of The Legend of Chun-Li.
Yeah. Man. But I don't know. It's so weird. I'm kind of like, man, somebody should make a good live action Street Fighter movie.
Capcom had their chance, they blew it.
I mean, they keep doing stuff with Resident Evil. Why not?
Yeah, and they're all terrible.
I mean,
I hear the new one's really terrible.
I forgot there was a new one.
So did everyone else.
Yeah. I mean, Capcom made a Monster Hunter movie.
I heard that was bad too.
I mean, it was. It was the same guy that made the Resident Evil movies, I think.
Who also made Mortal Kombat.
Weird.
I guess he peaked early.
I don't know. If he made Mortal Kombat, then maybe he should try to make Street Fighter if he's got a good relationship with Capcom. I mean, I don't know who Mila Jovovich would be. I guess Cammy.
Well, she'd have to be in the movie somehow.
There's a lot of Street Fighter characters now, so I guess like she's kind of like older, but like she's still like, you know, like in good shape. I guess she could be Rose, because she's like the girl clone of Bison, but maybe that would be a weird element to introduce in a movie trying to get a general audience to be interested in Street Fighter.
You just say she's his sister.
Yeah, that works.
Boom. I fix things.
Yeah. Yeah. That guy could make a Street Fighter movie.
That's probably not a good idea.
I don't know.
If I get like, let's face it, there's no good director that's going to be like, I'll make the Street Fighter movie.
Yeah, I guess not.
You just don't get quality directors for video game adaptions. It's just not happening yet.
That's true. But, I don't know. I really like Street Fighter. This live action movie is one of those like oddities that exists. And it's like you watch it and you're like, there are some things that are like close to the game, and then you're just like, I guess visually at the end they like are like, hey look, we made all the characters look like the way they do in the game. I mean, yeah, Dhalsim is a scientist and has nothing to do with him being like a martial artist, yoga master type person, but whatever.
He randomly lost all his hair.
Yeah.
How?
And his shirt got burnt off, and he was chained up by M. Bison, so that's why he has a thing around his neck and wrists.
So dumb.
Also, Bison's friend Charlie got turned into Blanca. That's not exactly what happens in the game.
Guile.
Oh, that's right. Did I just say it?
Bison's friend.
Bison's friend.
It's Guile's friend.
Guile's friend. Well, forgive me, because this movie seems to be more about Bison than Guile.
To be fair, they made it about the more interesting character.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird.
It also has a post-credit scene for some reason.
Yeah, Bison is alive at the end, because of course he is.
Sure, why not?
I guess one thing that's interesting is they sort of show off Bison's psycho powers without it being Bison's psycho powers, because at the end of the movie he can fly and shoot lightning.
It's an homage.
Yeah. But he should have just had his psycho powers. But I guess, was Power Rangers out by now?
94, yes.
Yeah. Could have worked.
I mean, this... did it really work in Power Rangers?
If the movie was directed towards kids, Maybe that's why they made it. They were like, oh, that Power Rangers thing is popular.
No, they were doing it because Street Fighter was popular.
I guess.
And they also probably found out that New Line was doing Mortal Kombat, and they were like, well, we better make this. I don't know. What, someone found out that the other one was making one of those movies, and we're like, we gotta get out first.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know who did what, but that's probably how we ended up with a Street Fighter movie and a Mortal Kombat movie within like the same year.
Yeah, it's like
within like a year of each other, because that happens. It happens all the time.
Yeah, it's weird. So weird.
But yeah, Street Fighter movie. You don't need to watch it.
Yeah, you know.
I've watched it twice in my life, and that's probably twice too many.
They came out with a cool steelbook for it.
It came with Bison Bucks. That's interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. Because Bison Bucks are hilarious. Especially when Bison tries to pay Sagat in Bison Bucks. And then he's like, it's going to be worth 5 times as much as the British pound. And Scott's like, how? I'm going to kidnap the Queen. That's literally something he says in the movie.
He means it.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
It is bizarre. I sort of like it, but at the same time makes me like, somebody make a better live-action Street Fighter movie.
I mean, I got a couple good chuckles out of it. I'm not a fan of Street Fighter, so I'm not offended by it. It's just, it washed over me. It exists.
Yeah.
And I move on with my life. It's not as bad as Spawn. Spawn hurt.
Yeah. Well, whatever. I guess we should just try to do an outro. So that's it for the Out of Touch podcast. If you liked it, I guess leave that thing people do and subscribe, maybe. Outro complete.
Leave a comment. Tell him how much of a dick he is. Because I'm not the jerk of this podcast. It's him.
Definitely not.
No, it's definitely you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely not me. I'm nice. Fuck you.